to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have present today Walt Recook, Todd Chernick, Christopher Bloor, and Bill O'Connor. Wow, that's loud.
Hey, hello. They can hear you outside. Is that better? A little bit.
Do I have to read this intro?
No.
Okay. Make a motion that we amend the agenda. No, I'm kidding. Adoption of the agenda, and looking for a motion.
Move it.
Move to
Second.
adopt, and a second by Chris Bloor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have three cases, all of which are looking to be deferred. I'll start with V16-010. Angela, would you please state the staff's recommendation on this?
Mr. Chair, staff would like to request that we defer this case until the November meeting. Unfortunately, the required ad that was placed in the Milton Herald was not run. So
Was that due to the Herald or us? The Herald. Okay.
I just have one simple question on this. This case was deferred from a prior meeting. Is the applicant intending to be ready next month?
they should be.
Okay. I make a motion that we defer V16-010 to our next scheduled meeting.
Second.
A motion and a second by Bill to defer. Any discussion?
Just one. Can we just defer? Do we have to go through each case, or can we just defer the whole kit and caboodle?
Yeah, let's go through each one.
Okay. I apologize. I just want
We
to
could have amended, I guess, but we didn't.
That's okay. Go
So
for
we
it.
have a motion and a second to defer. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimous. V16-011, would staff please present?
Mr. Chair, staff would like to request that this case be deferred to the November meeting for the same reason.
Existing structure, okay. Are there any questions of staff? I make a motion to defer V16-011.
Second.
A motion and a second by Bill O'Connor. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimous. V16-012. Staff, please present.
Mr. Chair, staff would once again like to request that this case be deferred until the November meeting.
Any discussion? Any questions for staff? I make a motion that we defer V16-012.
I'll second.
I have a second by Christopher Bloor. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Passed unanimous. Are there any consideration of appeals?
I have none.
Any old business?
I have none.
New business? In light of tonight's meeting and prior history, we've had either situations of deferrals or withdrawals that have been requested by the applicant and approved or recommended by staff. I'd like to offer for the board's consideration prior to making this a request that we make a ask of staff and council to come up with a recommendation process at which staff would be able to make deferral and withdrawal decisions administratively without convening a meeting.
In the case of not having an ad run by the newspaper?
Do we want to narrow it to that? I think if the applicant wants to withdraw, do we need to
I mean,
meet?
I think, again, if it's something that we've got verbally, something written from the applicant, that'd be fine too as well. But what I'm concerned about is I don't want staff to withdraw it, and in which case then we may get into an argument with the owner. Why did they withdraw it?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's the suggestion. I don't mean to interpret, but I think if the case is deferred for whatever reason, or the applicant requests for it to be withdrawn, that we request counsel and the other appropriate individuals allow staff to make that modification without convening the board. I don't think it's appropriate, and I don't think that's what you're suggesting, Todd, that staff of their own accord withdraw a case.
That's
If a case is submitted, it's submitted, period. I mean.
Correct.
right.
Okay.
Now,
But
I don't want to put words in that.
so the ask is for staff to look into a process, whether there is a process or if it may require a zoning modification. I don't understand that yet, so that's something for them to look into and bring us a recommendation.
okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So with that, do I need to formalize that in any further
No,
terms?
I got it.
Okay. And really the purpose, the intent is so that we can make a better use of our time and staff's time and city resources.
Correct.
The only thing is if there's something where someone's questioning a decision of the zoning administrator, I don't want to put them in a position where if they're asking for deferral because of that or something,
But staff can also say it's got to go to the board.
right.
If they think abuse is going on, which we've seen before, they can say, nope, it's got to go to the board. Let them use
Right.
their best
Yeah,
judgment.
I mean, if staff doesn't feel they want to recommend a deferral for whatever reason, they don't have to.
Right.
Just a tool in their toolbox.
Right.
It makes sense.
Right.
If I may, last month we also discussed changing the flexibility that staff has as it relates to certain variances. When it's
Well,
coming from-
can we close off on this one
We
first?
can, and the reason I brought it up is if we're going to do an ask of council, it should be all at once. If we, and we really should, I guess, talk about that next month in full.
Correct.
So,
That was the intent.
okay, and that's fine. Let's move on. I apologize.
So would it be reasonable, Angela, at what timeframe would it be reasonable that we could hear back regarding this ask as well as the stream buffer disturbance ask?
I mean, we can be prepared to talk about it at the November meeting, and if I can remember correctly, you all talked about coming up with some wording yourselves.
Yes. And the only reason I didn't bring it, any suggestions, because I knew we were deferring everything.
Right, and that's why I told Paul not to come, so.
Right.
Okay.
That's.
Is it acceptable in this case for Chris to provide suggestions to staff?
Sure.
I don't have, do you have an issue
Well,
with
and
that?
I didn't come prepared to do that.
No, I'm saying between now and the next meeting.
Oh, sure.
You don't have to
Okay.
wait until the next
And if
meeting,
you
I'm
want,
saying,
send it to everybody and just say, here's what we're going to discuss.
Okay, fair enough. And,
which we've done that in the past,
yep, and I'm fine with that.
to move things along.
Okay, fair enough.
If we have comments, you can feel free to add your comments onto it, and then we'll discuss it in a
So we'll
public
put
forum.
both of these issues as old business for next meeting.
That's would be the ask, yes.
Okay.
I think. Okay, any other new business discussion?
I heard we're getting paid. Is that true, Angela?
I believe so, yes, you are.
And
Well,
when
see
does
what's
that happen
happening.
and when does that start?
I do not know that.
Is it?
That's
when
not-
does our
that's
fiscal
not
year
sarcasm?
start?
No, they did approve a stipend for the board members.
And do they, in other words?
What's
when-
our
when
hourly
fiscal
rate?
year?
I
Fiscal
think it's
year.
like 75 per meeting.
Oh, jeez.
Beer run.
All right.
Right. But when does your fiscal year start? Is it December?
October, it started beginning of October.
Okay. So, in other words, we may actually get paid. So you're asking us to defer meetings in which we may not get paid if we get deferred.
Which
And
would be a
I'm-
better use of city's
and I'm really
resources.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for others, but personally, I'm very happy.
Okay. Without any
You
further,
want to get your 75? Sorry.
I want my 75.
without any further new business to be discussed, I make a
I'm
motion to
fine with
adjourn.
Coke and water.
I'd make a motion that we adjourn